Greetings, esteemed viewers.
Greetings, esteemed viewers. I'm still here reminiscing about the fact that I used to be good at mercenaries mode. Granted, this part is posted before that, so you won't know what I'm talking about yet.
Yeah, I probably won't know what you're talking about even after. But what are you gonna do? I'm me. I have to live with it, so do you.
I mean, I don't have to.
I guess not, but shit, if I just didn't show up ever again for this channel, you guys would keep going, wouldn't you?
I would be free.
I'm playing. You're the one with the basement everybody's in, Austin. I don't know why.
We don't have basements.
Wait, is that true?
It's an earthquake state. Why would we have basements?
You know what? That's fair. I never really considered it living in a tornado state. That there would be states without.
Honestly.
And we're not even just a tornado state. We're also like a flood zone.
Yeah, there's no escape, basically.
Well,
I was always terrified as a kid about what if a tornado and a flood happened at the same time. And also a fire.
I mean, a tornado can lead to a flood.
It can, yes. And also, my parents keep saying tornadoes aren't that bad, but I've had a horrific fear. My fear of tornadoes is worse than my fear of chainsaws.
Okay, so I've seen, like, tornado drills that schools do, and I want to know if they're true. Do they just have you guys, like, line up in a hallway and duck?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
But, like...
Not even going down a floor.
Okay, but, like, that doesn't do anything.
Yes, and we were aware of that.
Well,
and we gave our
the
teachers
tornado
shit.
is not going to see you cowering and feel bad.
Like, no, we literally, third floor Bennett, I had to do a drill on the third floor one year. I don't know if Brian ever had to do a drill on the third floor.
No.
And it was literally like, yep, the plan is to go out in the hallway, or you go down like one floor tops. And we were just like, so we're gonna die anyway. We're just gonna fall down with the building.
Our plan was to create a wind tunnel and hope to get carried to safety.
Although to be fair, Bennett was a weather bubble, so you know the tornado just might not penetrate.
Oh, there's so much spirituality here. Also, orphan ghosts. Orphan ghosts might stave away tornadoes.
They might. But all I can remember... Okay, you didn't have this teacher. One of the history teachers, when we were talking about, like, immigration and, you know, the town the school was in was settled in, like, the mid-1800s. And it's like, why would anyone live here? We're literally in weather hell! And, then we learned, you know, trade and shit. But the weather, dramatically opening the blinds and gesturing at the window that we were in weather hell was engraved in my memory.
Well, you know, I theorize that the Midwest is only a thing because people were trying to get to the West and they got bored and tired and ran out of food, so they just stopped.
I mean, probably.
At least that's my justification of Indiana. I don't know about any other states, but definitely Indiana.
No, Indiana at least has, like, a couple things. Do you want to talk about Ohio? Or, like, Iowa?
But I don't have direct experience with those states. I know Indiana pretty well.
Who do you owe?
Oh.
Hi?
Oh.
No. Oh, hi. Oh. Not Iowa. Iowa, Ohio. That's how it works. But okay, but short story time. We drove to Boston when my cousin was a freshman in college in Boston. It's like a 17-ish hour drive from here. 14 of those hours were Ohio.
Okay, are you sure? Because I've driven through Ohio to, like, Maryland, And I don't think I spent 14 hours in Ohio because...
I may be exaggerating slightly, but Ohio was more than half of the trip.
Okay, that I buy.
It was at least 8 hours of the 16-hour trip. At least. Because I know I fell asleep when we entered Ohio, and when I woke up a shit ton of time later, I think it may have been the sun rising, we were still in Ohio.
That said, the Ohio Turnpike is turnpike goals. And nobody can convince me differently. The bathrooms are so clean!
Ryan, have you ever been... Well, actually, first, I want to ask you something. Was your boys' locker room in high school disgusting?
Yeah, well, it wasn't great. I don't remember it being terrible.
Okay. Mine was absolutely fucking disgusting.
I was gonna say, to be fair, we were at a private school.
Oh, okay, yeah. That makes sense. Alright, so to put into context how gross, like, fucking high school's boys' locker room was, in order for us to get our, like, our weight checked and everything for our, I forget what they call it, fuck.
What, fitness tests?
Yeah, fitness tests.
Okay.
For, our report cards. We had to have to go to the girls' locker room because that's where they kept all that stuff. The girls' locker room floor was painted blue. Ours was gray. And I don't think it was supposed to be.
Hold up! Time out!
It also didn't smell like piss in there.
Oh. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, be happy you went to private school, you bitch.
I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure we had a situation like that during the fitness shit where we had to use the other locker room depending on if we were doing the EKG or whatnot. And the boys' locker room was basically identical to the girls' locker room at our school.
Oh.
The only difference was that there was a perpetual cloud of Axe just there.
I mean, you just don't smell it after a while. You get used to it.
Unless you're like me and you get a migraine from Axe.
Wow, should they list that as a side effect?
There was literally, freshman year, I was complaining to the other guys, since, you know, I was a girl percussionist, about Axe as they were spraying it, talking about how awful it is, and then some random fucking junior walked in, was like, oh, what smells like boy? And I'm like, fucking ruining my case about how terrible this smells. Get the fuck out of here.
I mean, you have to have a phase of just using way too much of terrible deodorant. I mean, I didn't, but...
What if you only think you didn't because no one ever told you?
Well, you know, this actually...
It could be worse. You could have not used deodorant.
Could be worse. Your floor could have lost all color, though we literally just had concrete floors.
Well, I mean, that was ours.
No, they weren't painted. They were just straight up sealed concrete.
You know,
the lockers were fancy.
Our lockers weren't.
And our gym was relatively new, too. Like, built early, like 2002 or some shit.
Our gym was kind of new.
Seemed pretty nice.
Yeah.
I have a kind of demoralizing deodorant story. So, I didn't actually select the brand of deodorant that I use. It just, one day, my mom gave me some deodorant. She's like, use this. And I'm like, okay. So then I just used the same brand. And then, like, the first time I was at the store, trying to figure out where it is, I'm like in the men's deodorant section. And I'm like, my God, I can't find it. Do they not have? And then I'm just looking everywhere. And then I, like, no. And then I go to the woman's deodorant section. No! And yeah, it was there. It was in that section. So...
I mean, to be fair, women's deodorant does smell better.
I mean, mine was unscented. So, like, I don't know. I can't fucking win. Like,
although, okay, so, for context, our high school was very poorly ventilated on account of being, you know, half of the buildings being like 80 years old. So, it got really fucking hot. And considering we had gym, like, first period and no chance to shower, we got stinky. And this includes me, which fucking sucks. So I actually had to use men's clinical deodorants during the semesters where I had gym first period, because someone at some point had me called into the nurse's office and she was like, "Do you know how to use deodorants?" And it was like, I have gym first period. I'm trying my best.
That's so savage.
I'm still upset. Obviously I'm never gonna know who fucking had me sent to the nurse's office because I smelled. Because I didn't smell any worse than any of the boys. I feel the need to point that out.
Well, that's, you know, I took that as a given.
Yeah. But, you know, somebody decided that I stank enough to be sent to the nurses.
Was this like a teacher? Like,
I don't know! All I know is that I was called to the nurse. I don't even remember how. I don't remember if it was an announcement or if they were just like, "Hey, you need to come see." Like,
or someone knock you out and like...
I don't fucking know. I'm still a little mad about it. Because now that I'm not in high school, or not in that shitty-ass building, with, you know, everything being a million degrees and having not enough uniform shirts because my birth mother was fucking lazy, and why would she give me one shirt a day when she could just buy 3? Now I can actually use women's deodorant and not have any issues. I don't have a perpetual funk. It's weird how that happens.
Yeah, it is weird.
When you're not in a building that's constantly 80 degrees and having to rewear the same shirt because you only have 3! And it's a uniform!
80? Wow, Ariel.
I mean, she's not wrong, though.
It's 100 right now.
I mean, it probably is, but, this isn't a place where the average temperature is like 70-ish. Granted, you're at 100 right now. We have a frost advisory for tonight.
Okay.
Even though it was 70 yesterday.
Nice. Because Illinois is a fucking joke.
It was like 40, 50, 70, 60, and now it's going to be 27.
Okay, Ariel, I can put as many clothes on as I want. I can only take off so much of my skin.
Okay, see, I used to think that.
But then
I froze my ass. No. I used to think that cold was better because of layers. But now my body like doesn't insulate. So I'm at the point where not only can I not handle it being hot, I can't handle it being cold either. So I'm just fucked. I got skeleton fingers. They don't warm up when I put on gloves. I got no insulation.
I, too, have terrible circulation in my end appendages.
Like, my feet, I don't have quite... Well, I will have issues with feet, because also women's boots aren't insulated, like, at all. I have to buy, like, ski boots just to have any chance of insulation.
Seems to defeat the fucking purpose, but okay.
Yeah. And... I had to buy specialty goddamn gloves because, as mentioned, I have skeleton fingers. And I say that because they are both long and skinny, besides being bony. They're long and skinny. You wanna know what glove fingers usually aren't? Long and skinny. So usually they're either too short and I can't move my fingers right, or they're too wide and my hands like flopping around in them.
Just get fingerless.
So I found a pair of gloves.
Like me from an alternate universe that just fell here, or am I the one from the alternate universe who fell here?
I don't know. What do you not flop around in gloves? Because it must be nice to have gloves fit.
Yes, Ariel, I go inside the glove and I just flop around.
No, I don't understand what about this involved parallel universes.
Oh no, I have long skinny fingers and my hands flop around.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
And that's all you need to be someone's copy from another universe.
Shit, you're right. Forget ethnicity. It's all about the fingers.